Warhammer Fest has come and gone, and just near the end, Games Workshop showed off way more than I expected them to about Kill Team. They also went over some more previews for the 10th edition of 40k. We'll go over all that next week though. There was more for all their other games as well, but today I want to focus on the Kill Team updates. These have me interested. From a reminder that Gallowfall is almost out, to a narrative campaign that doubles as 2 new kill teams, and one with an interesting cross-team function, to a little teaser and a roadmap for what is to come. Hell, we were even shown a team that comes from a blind box system, from when the RNG of a dice roll just isn't enough. Real quick though, before we get into it, thank you all for the channel growth so far. Slow but steady. If you're new and into tabletop games, we here at the Kimmerix Project are currently focusing on Kill Team with plans to expand to 40k in 10th edition, and possibly other games down the road as things improve. If you're interested in following along, you can do the YouTube thing and hit that subscribe button, maybe even hit the like button as a prayer to the machine gods. We got a bit to go over, so let's get into it. So Games Workshop hit us with another reminder that dwarves will be fighting beastmen in a crashing spaceship soon. Gallowfall is coming, bringing an end to Season 2 of Kill Team. Fans of the Votann will finally be able to play their own faction rules instead of using units as proxies for intercessors and casual matches. And fans of the fantasy genre will have a horde of angry beast people with chainswords to wield. Personally, this wasn't the final drop I was looking forward to. I feel it was a missed opportunity to pit a squad like the Votann against the Nids for a slight nod to the idea of Space Hulk. My group did have hopes it would be Nids versus a Space Marine squad centered around at least one Terminator, though we had no idea how that could even be balanced. Seeing as how my group now has 4 close quarters boards and only 1 is painted, I feel the need to skip this release. Though the teams are certainly interesting, this will need to be a situation where I have to wait for the individual drops. Not a bad play, since a lot of the teams for Season 2 came out of the gate in a very underpowered fashion. Seeing the incredible spread of buffs to the Hierotek, as well as the Farstalker Kinband and the minor Kasserkin buffs alongside the seemingly weak first outing for the Exaction squad, very few teams could be considered winners in these drops. Mostly just the Breachers, though I do think the Hand of the Archon might be alright. We'll see when some meta watch numbers drop. My personal pick for the new teams would be the Beastmen. I feel like melee-focused teams tend to be on the rare side, and from my collection I feel I only have one that is fully melee-focused. The Legionary can be pushed that way, but I don't like leaving the heavy and medium weapon user behind. Also, the Beastmen have what appears to be a shaman, and magic-like ability use in Kill Team interests me heavily. When done right, it can feel like a tool to adjust strategy mid-turn to try and secure victory. As a reminder, these box sets seem to go fast, so as always, a prayer to the RNG gods for your good fortune in your pre-order attempts. We didn't know much about what was to come from Kill Team after Gallowfall, so mercifully Games Workshop gave us a lot to look forward to. First up, Ashes of Faith. This is a narrative campaign box designed in the rule set of Kill Team, but with an extra layer built on top for people who want the more focused tabletop experience of a fun campaign between friends. The teams involved will be usable in standard Kill Team matches. It will be interesting to see how these are balanced. I actually really like the idea of this box though, seeing as how I've been filling containers with terrain from all my team purchases. Seeing a box come with a lot of units instead is very appealing to me. On top of that, both teams seem very unique to the current system. Starting with the Chaos Cultists, based on what the box shows, you could easily purchase this team ahead of time and wait on the separate rules release or other places that will get the rules for you. I will say that the team in the US will cost $160 if you don't already have some of it. And since we don't know the price of this box set, I'm not sure about the value difference. What appeals to me about this team is that apparently the cultists can be upgraded over the course of the match. I'm not sure if this means over the course of the narrative play or during the actual single match itself. This would be one of the first teams where models on the field are able to change out of the new bespoke teams. I believe the Compendium Daemons had units that would split on death, but this looks like a sort of ramp-up team, and I'm into it. Just the thought of converting a near-death cultist into a giant lumbering full-health Hulk moments before charging it into the front line brings me joy. A Chaos Horde squad built around the idea of traps and trickery. On the other side, we have the Inquisitorial Agents. The core of this team seems a little light in comparison to the cultists, but because of this, there is a level of flexibility in their expansion that hasn't been a thing in the current run of Kill Team. The box comes with a squad of Scions and a squad of Sisters of Silence, but the Inquisitors can also call on the aid of the Kasserkin, Imperial Navy Breachers, Veteran Guardsmen, and the Exaction Squad. This will probably put the Inquisitor Agent team as one of the most versatile in Kill Team right now. Don't forget though, that a competitive roster only consists of 20 units. I feel this will be their big restriction. Most likely the Inquisitor units themselves will only make up about half of this roster. Filling the rest will be up to how you think they will play over the course of a tournament or campaign. This is fine for casual though, especially if you already have a decent collection that includes most of the squads that don't come in the box. You can bring the Kasserkin along for a quick casual map. Maybe the Veteran Guard will be more your thing. It will be more interesting to see how these teams work as support. Will they bring along their ploys and tac ops with them? What kind of equipment do they have access to? Will their stats be changed for the Inquisitor Agent team? Or will things like the +1 wound to Kasserkin units from the data slate confer the benefit when part of this team? A lot of questions. Also, this team really calls out for a need for Games Workshop to have a better way of getting squad info together. I would hate having to carry all the books around and going back and forth during a game just to verify every little thing. Overall, Ashes of Faith feels like a good pre-season release within the Kill Team space. I certainly plan on trying to get it. I feel it could be fun to run and record a campaign to show you all. Hopefully my friends are up for it. Speaking of preseason, we were also shown a teaser along with a little roadmap. Keen-eyed viewers of the teaser showed that the transmission spoke of the Eldari as a possible opponent. I do feel like Games Workshop is waiting for 10th to be out for a little bit before finally giving the Nids the update they deserve, and having a little more options out of the Eldari could be interesting, depending on the units they focus on. There is a lot of possibilities from those space elves. The roadmap also revealed something that really caught my attention. In the summer, we will be receiving a Kill Team Annual. The last Kill Team Annual that dropped had the collected info for all the White Dwarf teams, as well as the re-released Gellerpox and Elysidian teams, along with some of the rules for a few different game modes. So far, there has been no word on upcoming White Dwarf teams or any of that. I feel the last big White Dwarf Kill Team update was about 4-player close quarters rules. It would be interesting to see Games Workshop expand on some of the compendium teams leading up to this book's release. Alternatively, this book could have the external rules for Ashes of Faith, as well as the Gallowfall teams, and simply drop alongside those teams' individual releases in summer. It would be sad. We'll just have to see how these next couple months go. If we see some White Dwarf updates soon, we'll at least have a little bit of a preview of what will most likely be in that book. After these drops comes Season 3. New teams, maybe new terrain, maybe some Nids. Please? Pretty please. Last up is an interesting concept. Games Workshop decided to do a tie-in with their blind box system they occasionally release in their Warhammer Heroes line. This was odd and had mixed reactions. People were mad with the idea of needing to RNG their way to a working Space Marine kill team that involves specialists. Other more level-headed viewers realized all these models can be built out of things that already exist and that they happen to already have all 7 units. This is the part that interests me. Up until now, all Elite Marine bespoke teams have stopped at the 6-man limit. Strike Force Justian will consist of 7 units. The balance for this will come from the fact that the team does not have access to equipment or a team-wide ability like the others. All their abilities are completely isolated to the unit using them. All the equipment is the same. You will not have options to change anything outside of the unit's head, which serves no balance purpose. Honestly, I'm not even sure this team has their own tac ops. I am thinking of getting them. It could be good to have this kind of team in the back pocket for people I run into that want to try the game. Apparently the unit cards come in the box, so the rules will be easy to access without the need for a book. Also, the lack of equipment and such will improve the entry-level play for someone new to the game. Even though the Intercessor team is powerful, people have voiced their sadness with the homogeny of it. Just bolters and maybe some chainswords. Too simple. This team brings back the uniqueness of units, and for people already in the midst of collecting Marines, you probably already have it. If you don't, supposedly buying a whole one of these boxes complete will guarantee you the full squad. Not 100% on that. Keep your eyes peeled to see what people are saying about it. That is all for this Warhammer Fest Kill Team Roundup. I am truly interested in what we have coming up. Was there anything that stood out to you? Maybe you have a guess at what the Eldari reference was in the teaser transmission. Are you snagging Gallowfall for any particular reason? Are you day one on the Ashes of Faith box like I will most likely be? Leave comments down below, and if you're interested, I'll have a link to the community Discord in the description as well. When I go live on Twitch, or if anything interesting comes up, we can post and talk about it there. As always, likes for the like throne and subscribe for the machine gods. I am Kimmerix, and I'll see you in the next one.